Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another night of racing here at DTR. And tonight we have the ever unpredictable, the always exciting Class D Championship racing around the almighty Spa this evening, where hopefully we'll see some incredible action. We've seen some great races so far across the week, with some very unpredictable weather, as you would expect from Spa, and fingers crossed we'll get a little bit of excitement this evening within this Class D Championship. So jump on board and just get set with all the information here. I'll jump on board with Saley. At this moment in time, it looks as if we've got most people starting on the softs, with just Tyres Terso doing his outlap at the moment on the mediums. Seemed to be the preferential choice of everybody to start on the softs from the previous tiers, so we'll see if anybody fancies making the alternate strategy work this evening within Class D. Now of course we have the championship leader beating us in the Ferrari, who just seems to have left the pits. He'll be hoping to extend his lead even further from the current position of 12 points ahead, and it seems to be Tyres Terso and Hims who's unfortunately unable to be with us this evening, but they'll be hoping to hunt down Beatty Nuts over the final few races. So drivers just warming their tyres up. We'll see who's coming through first. Oh, it looks as if we've got a little battle already between Tyres Terso and a Haas on their hot laps, which is not ideal for either of them, to be honest. So drivers' responsibilities to build the space up, so we'll see what has to be said after the race with that. But jumping on board now with Tyres Terso down the Kemmel Straight. And does a 31.2 effectively. Oh, very shaky around that chicane, but seemed to save it on the exit. Now, very difficult corner here. Downhill. Decides to use a lot of the grass there, which is unusual. I've not seen that line before, but we'll see if it pays off at the end of the day. It looks as if Winter Travis had a little moment there, unfortunately coming off. Maybe he just decided to let Sadie through. And Lath, oh, Lath has already been the first one to lose it at well, Radion, let's call it the correct name. Already lost it at Radion. That's a shame there. It's not showing as a DNF, but oh, and Jalapeno Pepper is retired as well. And it looks as if we also have a Haas going very slowly. But Tyres Terso goes quickest, with Saley already beating it with a 1:43.3 to kick things off on the soft runners. Looks as if we'll have the Reflex, who's just starting his lap. No, sorry, must have invalidated. Next we'll have a Red Bull. Looks like we've got Racing Ryan L coming around the bus stop. Nope, entering into the pits. Ewan Dunn also coming into the pits. Who else have we got? Marco has invalidated, unfortunately. So next up will be Wardy in the Williams. Down into the bus stop chicane, braking very hard, going a bit too much over that curb. And we're struggling to get any times posted on the board at the moment. Let's see how Askelios gets on. He's coming round home straight and he's 3/10 behind Saley with a 1:44.7 effectively. So it's about just under 4/10 off Saley, off pole at the moment. And Bog comes in with a 1:44.3, very, very close, only 3,000th off pole. Fantastic lap there by Mr. Bogorovsky. And looks as if we've got tyres Terso. He's come into the pits. What's Winter Travis going to do? He's invalidated, unfortunately. And the reflex is coming across the line. And there's a 1:52. Looks like he got in a bit of trouble there. Ewan Dunn's pulling out the way. Trying to, at least. Marco Sack in the Mercedes. Coming into the bus stop chicane. Seems to take the corner very nicely. Comes across with a 1:45.7. He's had to do an extra lap due to an invalidation. And looks as if we've still got a few people coming out, sitting their laps. Nawuko, unfortunately, is not going to be one of them, as he has just come into the pits. So has Bog. And it looks as if we'll be with... Oh, and the reflex is retired as well. So he's got into some trouble there. Is it BT that's going to be able to spot him? Just taking it easy around the corners. Coming into the yellow flag zone. Yep. Yeah, it looks as if he's just lost it. And unfortunately put it into a wall there. You know, very difficult chicane. Very difficult parts of the track here. It's a very long track, as we all know. Lots of different areas that can catch many people out. Just a momentary lapse in concentration can put you so far behind round on this track. But we'll jump on board here for the first lap with the championship leader, Mr. BT Nuts in the Ferrari. He'll be looking to further his lead here today within the Class D Championship. Takes La Source very nicely, coming all the way down into Eau Rouge. Cut the corner on the left and then across to the right over Radion. Just minimal amount of steering, keeping all the speed. Open the DRS all the way down to Kemmel Straight. Nice hard braking for the first chicane. Drops it down into 4th, up to 5th, short shifting, keeping the traction. It showed him as purple, although I'm not going to entirely trust Codemasters. But it certainly looked like a good lap. Nawuko has moved over very kindly to get out of the way. And this is looking like a very nice and clean lap here from BT Nuts. Making his way down to the famous corner of Blanchimont. Hope I'm pronouncing these corners correctly, because Well, I don't know how to say them any other way. And here comes BT Nuts coming across the line and puts it on second with a 1:43.8. So 5/10, half a second off of Saley, who's clearly got some pace around this Spa track today. Looks as if we've got Wardy, who unfortunately is invalidated. And we've got Bog coming on his outlap, who looks like he might be picking up a nice slipstream here from Wardy R6, who kindly pulls over. Unfortunately, does not benefit Bog down the Kemmel Straight, where he would have much appreciated that lovely little toe that could have been given. But Bog looking to improve his current P3 position with a 1:44.3. He's got about a second to try and catch up to Saley, which is a hard task because Saley's set a incredible benchmark here. Looking nice and tidy though. Seems like we've got some yellow flags for an Alpha Tauri of tyres Terso. Looks like we've got an Alfa Romeo going slow. Looks like he's just pulled out of the way. Bog coming through the sector 2 and he's 2 temps up. So looking like he might be able to challenge BT Nuts here for P2, but Saley with a unassailable lead currently. And Bog's coming across the line here with a 1:44.195, improving on his lap, but not quite enough to get onto that front row, unfortunately. See if he'll be able to make it back to the pits for a final run at the end. Skenios we have in the pits, the two brothers in the Alfa Romeos. Doing very well, sitting in 5th and 7th at the moment. Tyres Terso, unfortunately. Oh, jumping on board at the wrong time there. Corner, it's very easy to do that. Unfortunately, just lost it there. Marco sacking the Mercedes, and we're looking to improve his current 9th position. And I'd be expecting you and Dunn to be improving here. He's shown to have some pace around here before in previous nights racing, and fingers crossed we'll see him this evening challenge the guys up in the top 3. Bog just moving out of the way very kindly there. I think it was Bog anyway. Very difficult, long left-hander there, all the way round. Keeping it nice and steady in 5th gear. Lovely exit, dropping it all the way down 4th gear. Now he's got 2 purple sectors according to the map graphics, which we all know aren't always accurate, but it certainly looks like a tidy lap so far. Let's see how he handles a bus stop chicane. Very difficult to just carry the speed all the way through. Careful not to lose it on exit. And it's a 1:43.4. Just a 1/10 and a half off Saley, who appears to be slowing right down. And we'll hop on board here for his final push lap. Coming round the source, managing to get a very nice exit all the way down to Eau Rouge, keeping it flat, hopefully over Radion, very nice, keeping that speed all the way across and down the Kemmel Straight. Looks like there's a little bit of traffic here, which could cause a little bit of an issue, but the Alpha's moved out of the way very kindly. Just got the Alpha Tauri of tyres Terso, hopefully shift out of the way, but he doesn't, and unfortunately there looked to be a little bit of afters there from Saley. Understandably annoyed from tyres Terso for getting in the way of that lap, but we'll see what the stewards have to say about those events afterwards. Now, racing Ryan L. We've not managed to get a time on the board so far. Looks like he's finishing his hot lap here. We'll be hoping the bus stop chicane is kind to him, which it is, and then he comes across the line with a 1:43.9, putting him up to P4, pushing out his teammate Bogorovsky. And Ascalios here starting his lap. And BT Nuts, championship leader, seems to have some support in the chat, which is always nice to see. Nice to see our fans supporting us in the YouTube chat. And he's unfortunately invalidated, which means that BT Nuts is not going to be able to make it into the front row, and we'll be hoping to improve during the race, where we expect the most unpredictable things, as always, around Spa. Now it looks like Reliot was the last person to make it across the line. Sorry, excuse me, it was Bogorovsky. Last person to make it across the lines. He will be hoping to improve on his current P5. And it looks as if we have a Renault, if my blue eye filter is working correctly. It's had a bit of a moment. Marco Sack has retired. Fortunately, he's had an issue there. Excuse me, that was a Williams, not an Alpine. So many different blues. Bog coming through the second sector, and he's very close to his time. He'll be looking to improve during this final run down to through Blanchimont, through the bus stop chicane, and hopefully pick up some time. And he comes across the line with an improvement, but unfortunately that leaves him still in P5. BT Nuts has, oh, he's managed to make it. He's managed to make it across the line, coming to the bus stop chicane. He's half a tenth up, so it's going to be very close to Saley here. Let's see what a bus stop chicane does to him. Comes across the line. Oh, and sticks it on pole. What a lap there from BT Nuts. Did very well to get across the line in time, but his tyres are one lap older. Oh, look how close that is. Less than a tenth, 700ths of a second between BT Nuts and Saley, who start off the front row. We then have Ewan Dunn and Racing Ryan sitting behind them, with Bogorovsky and Reliot in the third row. Then Escelius, Tyres Terso, Guna and Naruko making up the top 10, with Marco Sack in the pretty position of P11 with free tyre choice, and then Winter Travis, Reflex, Leif, Jalapeno Pepper and Wardy making out the 16 grid lineup we have this evening. Now we do have some reports on the weather scanner that there is a 20% chance of rain, but unfortunately the weather scanner is not very accurate, so there's still every chance that we could see some rain really shake things up at some point during this race. Now of course the top 10 are having to start on their best qualified time lap tyres, so I think that means that the top 10 will all be on softs. We'll have to wait and see what the P11 to P16 choose, whether they go for the alternate strategy, starting on the hards or the mediums. Not seen many people put that to good use so far, but I'm sure tonight could prove that completely wrong. And we will of course start things off with the formation lap, and it's just the Reflex ESGC starting on the medium tyres. So hoping that there might be some lap one chaos, possible safety car even in its current state. May be able to make some positions up on these soft runners later in the race as their tyres drop off. We shall see. Or is he anticipating rain? Does he anticipate that there'll be rain later in the race? Very interesting to see how he gets on. But BT Nuts and Saley leading things off in the front row. Saley currently in the championship fight in P10, but we have a very tight battle on our hands in Class D between P2 and P10. There is just 25 points. 25 points between P2 and P10. So a couple of DNFs. Hims, who's in P3 or joint P2, missing out this evening, unfortunately. Could see him drop down quite a number of places. That is of course if BT Nuts does not do what I expect him to do, which is lead from start to finish and provide us with quite a dominating performance here this evening. I'm sure Sadie will push him, but my prediction is for BT Nuts to take the flag here. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments for the podium 1, 2 and 3. So just wait for the final runners to join the back of the grid. There we have the lights, and they're out and we're off. No we're not, because the lobby. And now we're off. There we go. Got there in the end. BT Nuts staying on the inside. Saley's not got off to a great start, but we have some chaos. Unfortunately it looks as if we have Alpha Tauris and Red Bulls, and it looks as if Jalapeno Pepper and Mordy have got caught in some turn 1 incidents. think really it was one of the Alfa Romeos getting caught in some of the issues. Looks as if we've got some connection issues, but we've got a reflex ESGC on the mediums. It's looking to push Nawuko. Oh, pushing the track limits. And oh no, come together. And Nawuko unfortunately seems to have spun off completely into the wall and given the reflex just a little bit of damage, unfortunately. Tyres Terso sitting right on the gearbox of Winter Travis in the Haas, who in turn is sat right behind Gunnar in the Alfa Romeo, who's managed to hold on to a P6. And Winter Travis has managed to make it past round the outside and has currently made up 6 positions. And we're not even through to the final part of the first lap. Beatty-Nuts holding it steady. Currently in P1 with Saley just sat behind. Racing Ryan in the Red Bull, looking to capitalise on any mistakes made from the front 2 runners. And Ewan Dunn, who's lost a position but still in a very, very positive position here, keeping up with the top 3 runners. Askelios, who's, oh, we've missed that. Saley appears to have lost it. He appears to have lost it at Radion, and he's struggling to keep that Williams on the track. Lost his complete front wing. That is going to be a long lap round. What it does though is it releases Beatty-Nuts. Gives him about a second leeway on Racing Ryan L behind. There's so much action that the leaderboard just can't even keep up with it. Wardy unfortunately has had to take a pit stop. It looks as if he's jumped onto the mediums. Reflex has already come in, assumed for a wing change. Jalapeno Pepper getting caught in some turn 1 issues, and Saley just really struggling to make it back to the pits. We'll see what Ewan Duncan can do here. He's another one getting lots of support in the chat. Currently not wearing a helmet, which I'm sure breaks some sort of safety protocols, but he'll be looking to capitalise on a nice run down a Kemmel Straight. And Saley looks to have lost it in the pit lane, possibly. Just stay on board with you and done with DRS. Doesn't look like he's going to make it, and see if we can see where Saley is. Oh no, he's lost it at bus stop. Very unusual position to just park the car, and fortunately it's cleared now. And we'll see what Ewan Dunn can do to have a nice little battle here with Racing Ryan. But we've got another nice battle going on here between the Mercedes, Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull. Bomarowski trying to take it down the inside. Oh, and Jalapeno Peppers lost it at Radion. Bog just... oof. And Lath, unfortunately, looked to make a rather opportunistic overtake there and just seemed to lose it. Not sure if there was contact or not. But Bog with a fantastic overtake there on Reliot, I think it was. And he'll have Marco Sack in the Mercedes in his sights. And it looks as if we have got 2 penalties already. 3 seconds for corner cutting between Racing Ryan L and Ewan Dunn. Keeps things nice and even though, which means whoever's going to finish ahead on track. And Ewan Dunn goes round the outside looking to stick it, and Racing Ryan L just pushes him off wide. A little bit of weaving down the straight, possibly causing some issues, and oh dear, looks as if Lath has unfortunately lost it, and we have a safety car. We have a safety car, which is going to be incredibly interesting to see what the front runners are going to do here. Currently running very slowly under Delta, but do they drop in, put on hard tyres to run to the end, possibly even mediums to do a medium soft strategy? Or will everybody just simply follow the leader and do what he does? If it was me, hard till the end, or possibly even the medium soft strategy would be the choice right now, but obviously different choices, different horses for different courses, as they say. And we have Racing Ryan coming in, Ewan and Beating Up staying out, Skelios is coming in as well with Tyres Terso just staying out, going for track position. Winter Travis and Marco Sack coming in, Bog coming in, Guna and Reliot. We're doing a double stack on the Alfa Romeo pit box, and then we have the Reflex and Wardy, who are too far back at the moment, but everyone who was at the front, Racing Ryan and Ascalios jumping on the hards, Winter Travis and Bog jumping on the mediums, Marco Sack, Guna jumping on the hards as well, looking to go all the way to the end. Racing Ryan's come out in a nice position, P4, Ascalios behind him on the hards, so that'll be a nice even start. But then Winter Travis will be hoping to capitalise on his much improved tyre on the mediums, fresh set as well I believe. I think it was only Tyres Terso who even did a lap in qualifying on the mediums. Some support for, I take it, a fellow Irishman from Conor Coward, Mr. Ewan Dunn. Getting lots of support in the chat, which is nice to see. Certainly got the pace, but a strategic call here to stay out on the softs under a safety car. Will this pay dividends for the front two, well, front three runners, or will the people who have managed to get in and pit behind made a strategic masterclass? If it was me, I would have pitted, but I have a heavy right foot and my tyres would have been completely lit up for the first 4 laps. So maybe Beating Us and Ewan have got a bit of a softer touch with their tyre degradation. Tyres Terso getting a little bit close to Ewan there under the safety car, but hopefully everyone's going to keep their distance and no silly penalties are given. So we're going out for one more lap. Under the safety car. And then we'll be ready to go again. So Next lap is simply about warming the tyres up, making sure they're within the temperature window that they need to be in. But these front three runners won't want to be using up too much of their tyre. They want to be getting a nice healthy gap from the first of the hard runners, Racing Ryan and Ascalios, who will be looking to jump them during the next pit window. And the big benefiter from this is Wardy R6, currently in P12 on the mediums. Had some issues at the start and was, I think, about 15 or 20 seconds behind. Now gets to join the pack and really get involved in the battle for the points. Unfortunately, Nawuko was the first to leave us on this race with a lap 1 incident with one of the Haas drivers, possibly the Reflex ESGC. And then Saley looked to lose it at Radion and then had an issue at a bus stop chicane. Jalapeno Pepper, if I remember correctly, also lost it at Radion, and Lath joining them in what can only be described as the very difficult corner or set of corners of Eau Rouge and Radion. Very easy for anybody to lose it. And there we have the notification from race control that safety car is in this lap. So what that means is that BT Nuts is now the lead car, the pace car. So he'll be looking to just keep a nice consistent pace. Just keeping the tyres nice and warm, give the safety car a bit of a gap, so that when he's ready to go, he won't get held up by the safety car. Everyone behind will be looking to make the jump when possible. And here we go, coming into the bus stop chicane. He's going to go on the exit, I imagine. And yes, it looks as if he has gone. Ewan Dunn appears to have read it very nicely. He's managing to stay within half a second. Racing Ryan on the hards looks to have warmed those tyres up very nicely. And we have the Reflex and Reliot battling away already around turn 1. Looks like Reliot's got the nicer amount of traction, but Reflex will be hoping to get that slipstream, put it to good use. Slight moment there from the Alfa Romeo, but Reflex has made it past now. Racing Ryan, appears to have lost it. Attempting an overtake on tyres Terso, and unfortunately appears to have taken a few other drivers with him. Looked to be a Haas, possibly a Winter Travis. It's a very unfortunate race so far for the Haas team. And Ewan Dunn, unfortunately, I think that is 6 seconds currently due to track limits. So hell of a task on his hands to try and pick up the win from this race, but he's doing a very nice job at the moment of keeping up with the pace of BT Nuts. We have Marco Sack as well, who appears to be challenging Ascalios coming into Blanchimont. Very difficult place to overtake. Both of them losing it, and unfortunately Marco Sack gets a track warning. And that is his third track warning, which gives him a 3-second time penalty. Which leaves Ascalios with a little bit of breathing space, knowing that Marco Sack has that 3-second time penalty, even though he's right behind him. And the Haas drivers both going to be doing a double stack, unfortunately. Reflex got a 5-second penalty for speeding, and this is not a Not a good position for the Haas drivers. They'll both be hoping for another safety car, no doubt. Whilst up ahead we have Marco Sachs still sat right behind Ascelios, looking to try and find the right position. Patiently waiting around this long Spa track for the best time to pounce and make his overtaking move. Also appears we have a Red Bull, Alfa Romeo and Williams battle going on. And oh, we have Marco Sachs who's lost it. He's lost it. He was pushing very hard to try and catch up with Ascelios and appears to have lost it in that chicane. And looks as if Wardy has possibly... don't think he got caught up in it, but he certainly lost it, unfortunately. Which is then freed, ready to Racing Ryan. And the DRS has been enabled. And we have Ewan Dunn and Tyres Terso coming into the pits. What are we going on? Going on to the mediums from Ewan. Unfortunately though, that is going to bring him out in P9 it appears. P6, Racing Ryan. Just giving him space and then possibly getting DRS down Kemmel Straight. Which he does. And he'll be hoping to put these fresh mediums to good use as soon as possible. Racing Ryan, unfortunately, he's gone wide. Has to take some invasive action. Unfortunately, runs off wide, but joins safely. And Ewan Dunn already right on the back of Relia, who just loses the rear end a little bit. Very close battle in here between the two of them. And Relia just has to concede, unfortunately. Appears to be getting a lot of understeer. Doesn't look to have any front wing damage, but certainly looks to be struggling on those hards at the moment. And Racing Ryan's right on his gearbox after that little issue in the first chicane. He's managed to catch right back up again. He's got overtake enabled all the way down to the bus stop. Chicane, Tyres Terso. Lots of battles going on. Racing Ryan looks to take the inside and unfortunately just a little bit too far back. Rediot does very well, great defending. And we have beating us, the race leader, who is going to come out behind Ewan Dunn. Or is he? He is behind. Yeah, beating us has come out in front, but Ewan Dunn certainly got the run on him here. And will he attempt? No, he's going to sit back. And Beatty Nuts looks to have kept the lead here for the race. But this has done wonders for Ascelios, who's now leading. Came in under the safety car, put on the hard tyres, and is now hoping to go all the way to the end in these. Unless, of course, weather plays into effect. Sound like Bono. That can't tell if that's a compliment or not. Sounding like Bono. But either way, Sebastian, great to have you here. And unfortunately, Lewis is not here to complain about his tyres, which makes for much better watching. So we've still got this battle of the possible net first position. I say possible, but it looks as if Bog is catching nicely on Askelios, possibly in DRS zone. He's going through the activation point now. It's just too far back to get that Kemmel Straight DRS, unfortunately. Matthias Terso's come back into the pits, possibly for a wing change. Yes, definitely for a wing change. Looks to have had some issues on his outlap there. BT Nuts currently having to make up. Oof. How much have we got to the leader? 6 seconds. We're halfway through this race. Lap 11 of 22, and he's got 6 seconds to make up. Some fresh mediums, and he's certainly got the pace to do it, but that is a tough old ask to keep it on the black stuff. For this whole race and keep up that relentless pace, but it's already looking to be on the back of Guna, and will possibly be able to make the DRS come into play, but Bog has caught up significantly on Askelios. Currently within DRS zone, and certainly be looking, I imagine, for Kemmel Straight. It's a possible opportunity to make the overtaking move, but Askelios is getting some fantastic traction from the source. Rouge and Radion was clean from both. Bog has made a little bit of time, but I think he's going to be just a little bit too far back. Whereas BT Nuts is already right on the gearbox and made the move very early down Kemmel Straight. Nice and clean. But what does this mean for Ewan, who was sitting right behind BT Nuts? Looks to have had a bit of a moment. Possible snap over or understeer. Just lost a second, I think. 1.5 seconds to BT Nuts. But we'll be looking to do something similar on his overtake of Guna. And Bog in a battle for the lead. On the fresh mediums, I say fresh, 6 laps old mediums. Just sitting behind, taking the tow from Askelios through Blanchimont. Very close this time coming into the bus stop chicane, but very difficult to follow through these low speed corners. Askelios seems to lose the rear a little bit there, but still stays 1/2 second ahead. And Bog having to really stamp on the pedal there. We just jumped on board in time with Ewan, who tried to take the inside line in a source. Guna's got some fantastic... Oh, I think Guna's taken a bit of a safe option there and didn't want to go too wide through Rouge and Radion, which I think actually quite a sensible choice. It is possible. You are asking for trouble. Oh, and I apologise, but I have missed that. Looks like Bog made the move stick at the end of Kemmel Straight. I'll be hoping to capitalise on this with BT Nuts only 2.5 seconds behind now and closing rapidly. And Racing Ryan. Racing Ryan. Oh, we have a VSC. VSC here. Due to Racing Ryan appearing to have lost it. Unfortunately, I imagine he's put too much tyre onto the paint, and the car's already gone, so not going to be able to see. But who does this benefit? Could Bog make this work for a pit stop? He is going to try to, at least, but that gives Askelios the net lead. BT Nuts once again going up to P2, Ewan going P3. And what's Rediot going to be doing here? He's going to stay out on the hards, but his teammate Gunnar has come in, I imagine, to pit the mediums. And where's Bog going to come? Bog's going to come out in P5. He's not lost too much time for that second pit stop due to the VSC. And I think the only thing... There we go, DRS has been enabled, so I imagine the VSC has dropped, which it has. And we are racing once again. BT Nuts, the pole sitter, currently hunting down Askelios for the lead, and has already capitalised on that VSC restart and was within 1 second already, and it looks as if the Reflex ESGC has lost it at the bus stop chicane exit and just had a quick spin there, unfortunately. Audi R6 coming in for another pit stop. And although there seems to have been a lot of people pitting, most people staying within 1 or 2 stops. BT Nuts already right on the gearbox of Askelios coming into the bus stop chicane. Getting the DRS, unfortunately not quite got a traction, but I've no doubt he'll be looking at the Kemmel Straight here. This little battle has also brought in Ewan, who's within DRS zone. Has to let off the throttle there from the sound of things, but BT Nuts, DRS and ERS makes the move stick, and Ewan's just going to sit behind and possibly going to have to make a similar move on the next lap. And it looks as if, unfortunately, the decision from Askelios to go hards to the end is not going to be a race winning strategy. Could still earn him a very well earned podium, but I think unless BT Nuts makes a mistake here, it's his race to win. Currently have Bog chasing down Reliot as well. Ewan's hoping to make these mediums. Taking a tow all the way around Blanchimont, right on the gearbox, possibly looking at bus stop chicane. No, making a very sensible decision, I think, to just sit right behind. And once again, I imagine we'll be making the most of the long Kemmel Straight and the power of the DRS down there, and we'll be making a fairly simple overtake. It's got the ERS activated, DRS now in the slipstream, and has made it past before the braking zone, and pushing Askelios down into P3. But Ewan does of course have 6 seconds of time penalties, so Askelios just has to sit within the 6 seconds and he'll be net P2 currently. We've got Winter Travis, who looks to have lost it, on a fresh set of mediums, possibly pushing hard on the outlap. Bog has made it onto the back of Reliot, who's on some 10 lap old hards. Seems to be struggling for some rear traction around this track on those hard tyres. And Bog looking to make these fresh mediums come alive. Take him to the end of the race and hopefully take him into a podium position. Just over revs slightly on the exit, but looks as if he's still well within striking distance. Only half a second behind. Has plenty of ERS. And just needs to make sure he sticks it for our Rouge and Radion, which he does. And this looks like it's going to be a nice overtake into the first chicane, going round the outside, ready at pushing, but unfortunately I think those fresh mediums just have too much pace on them compared to the 11 lap old hards. So now it's down to Bog to make up 14.4, 14.3 seconds on Askelios in 5 or 6 laps. A very tough ask. Very tough ask. Skelios seems to have made this strategy on the hards work really nicely. Currently sat net P2. But Ewan is going at some pace here. Possibly able... Oh, and the reflex ESGC appears to have lost it at Eau Rouge, it looks like. Going up into Radion. See if we can see. Nope, because the car disappears. But that is now taking us down to 10 drivers. So everybody that has survived has managed to at least get into the points tonight. Points for the survivors is always nice. Albeit other than the Nuuko DNF, I think, from what I understand, could be proved wrong, but all of the other DNFs are due to unfortunate driver errors, which are very easy to do around a Spa track. But BT Nuts currently in the lead, looking to extend his championship lead. Currently 12 points in the lead and will be extended even further. Not sure who has fastest lap so far. I think we can see that somewhere. Fastest lap, yep, there we go. BT Nuts looking to take all the points home currently. Pole, fastest lap and the race win, the triple threat. And currently everybody in the top 10 is either in their starting position or made positions due to the DNFs. So currently everyone's a winner compared to qualifying. And we're now just getting to that part of the race where gaps are forming. Steady gaps are forming, and unfortunately not got too much close racing currently going on. We do have the two alphas with Guna on a fresh set of mediums, catching up on his brother Rediot, who I imagine will be getting some team orders to shift out of the way down a Kemmel Straight, but gets a nice little bit of DRS, bit of a toe, and then going to pull over to the left. Here it is, and will be released to attempt to track down Bog. He's currently 2.5 seconds ahead. Both pitted during the VSC onto the fresh mediums. It's not quite worked out, unfortunately, but I think it was a sensible decision. Certainly for Bog, who was on the mediums. I don't think they would have lasted to the end, but it looks as if we've got a bit of a battle right at the back for P9 between Wardy and Winter Travis. And Winter Travis has managed to make it within the DRS zone of Wardy up ahead of him. Has the medium tyres, the better tyres, to be able to mount his attack. And as we've seen so often, it looks as if Kemmel Straight is going to be the place to make the move stick. Goes down the inside and the side by side into the braking zone. Winter Travis not giving much space there in the braking zone, but fortunately they both come out unscathed. And that puts Winter Travis up into P9. Gaining an extra point there. And Guna looks to have made up about a second on Bog in one lap, so we'll be looking to capitalise on this pace. Askelios has unfortunately got a time penalty, which now definitely pushes him back into P3. I would love to say it's the luck of the Irish that's supporting Ewan around this track, but quite frankly it's been the skill of the Irish. Been a fantastic drive so far. Unfortunately he's picked up the penalties. This could have been a nice little battle between him and BT Nuts. But as predicted by my Mystic Meg intuitions, they're currently on loan from Wesley. BT Nuts has taken a very dominating performance here at Spa. And Bog's certainly finding some time on Askelios, just not quite enough. And it looks at the moment Guna is going to be the only one currently mounting an attack. Got some incredible traction out of the source. Takes his foot off the throttle through Eau Rouge, comes up nicely across Radion in the DRS zone across Kemmel Straight, and might be able to make a last lap attempt here against Bog. Both on the same set of tyres, so this will be just a push to the end. The only thing is Guna does have a 3-second time penalty, which I'm sure Bog will be well aware of, but as we all know, you still want to finish ahead of every other driver on the track, regardless of penalties. So we will stick with this battle. We do of course have BT Nuts, who's just coming through the bus stop chicane and starting the final lap. It looks like Guna will be mounting an attempt here through Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane, possibly if he can just stay within the dirty air of Bogorovsky in the Red Bull. And he's not quite made it stick at a bus stop. But he's still within half a second. Gap getting a little bit bigger. But he had a fantastic exit on the source. Bog just loses the rear ever so slightly, and that causes Guna to get within 3/10 of Bog coming into Eau Rouge and ready on. Bog gets a good exit, but Guna does have DRS. Coming into the chicane, is he going to make an attempt down the inside? No, unfortunately just a little bit too far back. Fantastic little last lap battle here. Was getting worried we weren't going to see anything till the end of the race, but this is a nice battle between two equally matched drivers. Bog, as many people know, seems to have the best defensive drives possible, just knows exactly where to stick the car. But we leave that battle for the time being to see BT Nuts coming into the bus stop chicane and taking, as predicted, the dominating performance and taking the win and fastest lap currently so far. With Ewan Dunn coming in P2, 7 seconds behind due to penalties. So Marco Sack has had an incident now. Battle between Bog and Guna into the bus stop. There's a little tap there from Guna, but nothing that unsettles Bog too much, and Bog comes across the line to take P4 with Guna in P5. Less than a second behind, but takes a 3-second time penalty. And his teammate, a fantastic result from the Alfa Romeos there. P5 and 6. Marco and the Mercedes, unfortunately, with some wing damage, will be coming across the line. Oh, and I do apologise. Here's Tyres Terso. He's put on a fresh set of softs and decided to nab the fastest lap, so not quite got the triple crown for beating us. It slows down at the line because he does have a hell of a gap to Winter Travis in the Haas, who's had an unfortunate race, getting caught in some incidents. I'm certainly expecting a few reports from this race. Did see some unfortunate things in qualifying and quite a few incidents during the race, but Winter Travis coming across the line, P9, and then Wardy finishing things off in P10. Well, Spa does not disappoint. An incredible track to drive. Somehow Wardy, by coming from P16 to P10, has made it into drive of the day. Although I personally would have given it to this man here, beating us in the Ferrari. Dominated performance from P3 to P1. Ewan with a fantastic drive, lots of support in the chat for the Irishman, coming in a very well deserved P2, and Askelios making the third step on the podium with a very good strategical choice, jumping onto the hards during the safety car. So they make up the podium, and then Bog comes in a very solid P4, making a two-stop work with Guna right behind him in P5. Then we have the Alfa Romeo brother of Reliot coming in at P6, Marco Sack P7, and Tyres Terso in P8, with Winters Travis and Wardy finishing up the points in P10, P9 and 10 respectively. Then have Reflex, Racing Ryan, Leif, Jalapeno Pepper, Saley and Nawuko, all unfortunately DNFing from P11 to P16. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Class D Championship race around Spa. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the result. It's a great race to watch, great race to spectate and commentate on. And I look forward to seeing everybody back here next week, where the Class D Championship will be taking on the mighty track of Brazil. So see you all next week. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. And goodbye.